And if we have an ultimate team sport in economic development, we couldn't be happier to have as co-captains two individuals I'd like to bring out to the stage now. Our chair of our board, Mr. Danny Ludeman, and chair-elect Suzanne Sitherwood. So hey, why don't we just have a quick, somewhat quick, I know, not too quick, but we'll take have a little bit of a conversation about these three initiatives. And I want to first say, Danny Ludeman is really the reason, well, he's half the reason. The other half was Tom Voss, who you hear about in a little while. But these two leaders really inspired Julie and I to come here to St. Louis. And Danny has been steady through a lot of transitions in his life as a good friend, as a great leader. And most of all, I'm inspired these days as I watch him step forward in a new leadership role in our community, looking at how he can provide his incredible talent to helping the futures of people who are less fortunate than we are and really making a difference. And I just want to, on behalf of our entire chamber, Danny, thank you for your leadership, your service, and your big heart, which has made such a great difference in St. Louis.
Thanks, Joe, for that nice introduction. I have to admit I got a little bit of a funny feeling about tonight, because earlier this morning when I was talking to Joe about the comments he was going to make tonight, he said he was going to end his introductory comments with a joke, and then he introduced me. So I don't know exactly how to take that, but seriously, it is a great honor to be here with all of you, and we want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. And I want to start with just letting all of you know that I couldn't be more fired up about what is occurring, all the wonderful things that are happening here in the St. Louis community. I absolutely believe from the bottom of my heart that this is the best time to be a St. Louisan in generations. And thank you. I mean, when you run down the list, and there's not enough time to do a thorough job of this, but when you look at things like collaboration, which is an overused word, but it's so important in a community like ours. Collaboration is an all-time high among our leaders in government, civic, education, and the business community. Organizations humbly placing the needs of the community above their own self-interest, or maybe a little bit more of a fight about who gets the credit. Economic activity in our designated clusters that we started out a few years on is growing nicely in all areas. When you look at startups, expansion of existing businesses, and then new headquarters locating here. If you look at things like educational improvement, the expansion of and the growth of our airport, when you look at the improvements of our parks, in particular Forest Park, and of course our historic public-private partnership expanding and improving our international icon, the Arch, which will add enormous vitality and economic growth in our region. Thank you. I mean, huge growth in our entrepreneurial community, as you've heard about already. Great progress on the diversity and inclusion front. There's just so much more to talk about. The time won't allow me to, but from my vantage point and from my position as chair of the chamber, it's just a wonderful experience to be able to observe all these great things happening. And I am forever grateful to all of the many leaders whose dedication and hard work has made this possible, primarily because they love St. Louis. And two, in particular, and you're always running a little bit of a risk when you try to single out just two, but since they're both on stage with me, I thought it would be somewhat safe. First, Joe Reagan. He is absolutely the definition of a servant leader. He's talented, he's humble, and he's driven to give his best at all times for the betterment of our community.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I don't know of anybody that represents one of the two greatest commandments, which is to love thy neighbor as thyself, as Joe Reagan does. So thank you very much for all you're doing, Joe. And another one of those leaders is right next to me here, which is Suzanne Sitherwood. Suzanne was voted chair-elect of the chamber at our June meeting, which we just had, succeeding me at the end of the year. And I might add, the first woman chair ever of the chamber in 177 years. Congratulations.
Thanks for saying yes.
Pretty cool. Suzanne is a great friend, and I knew from the start when I first met her, when she was climbing out of her truck at one of our first Civic Progress meetings, and I learned she liked to hunt, that we would hit it off instantly, which we have. Suzanne has literally taken St. Louis by storm since being recruited by the Leclerc Group as their president and CEO. In just 2 years, she has gotten immersed in this community, serving on too many boards to mention tonight, while at the same time executing two huge acquisitions, Missouri Gas and Alabama Gas. So it's just amazing the energy that Suzanne has. Suzanne also served as the chair of the Georgia Chamber of Commerce and currently serves on the board of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And so I have no doubt whatsoever she'll do great things in her upcoming role because of her enormous expertise and probably more importantly because of her enormous heart. So let's give Suzanne a very warm welcome.
Thank you, my friend and mentor. And as I was listening to your remarks, sitting here on this great stage in this great place, I thought, what a hard act to follow. But you've done tremendous work for this chamber and this community, and you also have been a great mentor. Like I said, when I first arrived in the city, he's one of the first individuals I've met, and has been, like I said, a great mentor and friend ever since. And Joe has been the same. And I just wanted to share with you that my goal was to represent this board extremely well and to represent you extremely well in the broader community. And I promise you one thing, I have the spirit of St. Louis.
All right.
I got the goggles to prove it.
Well, you know, it's such an honor to work with both of you, and you've helped us shape this strategy that we're talking about tonight. And we start with education attainment as the first priority in this for the future. And our strategy about education is about helping lead a movement to make education the #1 priority for the entire region, throughout the public sector, the education sector, the business community, to really make sure that we focus on helping people achieve greater education in their life, from GED to PhD, across all spectrums of the education, with a unique focus on college completion. And it's an idea that was forged by our Talent Council under the leadership of Doug Koch from Brown Shoe and Lee Kaplan from Enterprise Holdings and from Mark Lindgren at Ameren. Those three individuals and about 40 other members of our Talent Council have really forged that vision. But they've been joined by a Higher Education Council. Our Higher Education Council is made up of 15 of the regional colleges and universities who are working together to actually look at how that innovation can be spread to help us with that movement and help us with our particular aspect of what we're doing as a Chamber of Commerce, focusing on the working adult, the working people who are trying to complete their college degree. Beth Strobel has been a co-chair of the Higher Education Council along with Denny Golden, who recently retired from Fontbonne, and Denny and Beth were just a marvelous tag team. Beth is continuing on as co-chair, but it's my pleasure tonight to announce that the co-chair joining Beth in the Higher Education Council is Georgia Costello, president of the Southwest Illinois Community College, and she has said yes, and for those of you who know her, that is a force of nature coming to work for us in this important effort. So, Georgia, thank you so much for your leadership and for saying yes. So we've staked our claim that education is the surest path to economic prosperity. Danny, why do you think this is so important? Why is this a priority?
Joe, I think no factor, none, is more critical to St. Louis regional competitive position in the global marketplace than education. It means increased incomes, it attracts private enterprise, and it stimulates innovation. The Chamber has made college completion our #1 leadership priority for the growth of our future economy. And our goal is to be the top 10 most educated American metropolitan area. Currently, while we have the 19th largest metropolitan region in terms of population with about 2.8 million people, we're ranked 14th today in the number of adults with a bachelor degree or higher, so we're doing better than our size would indicate. But we want to get to the top 10, and we need the help of everyone in this room to ensure that that happens.
Well, I think we might be able to help you out tonight, because tonight we've invited 100 honored guests who have been nominated to represent their companies here tonight. These honored guests are people who've been working full-time, but also have been working on their degrees. So, on behalf of the St. Louis Regional Chamber, please stand up. We would like to welcome those individuals that are here tonight.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. They have passion and courage. Congratulations.
Tonight, the Regional Chamber also wants to announce a new program that it's launching called Degrees That Work. And this is our program to support working people who are completing their degrees. And we begin tonight with the launch of an employer toolkit, which is being mailed to all CEOs and owners of our member companies as the first solution to help them support their employees completing a degree. We've established a website, and the digital version of the toolkit is available live tonight under the name of degreesthatworkstl.com. That's degreesthatworkstl.com. And so I'd encourage you to check it out, and let's help these courageous people cross the finish line.
Well, Mark Trudeau talked about that this economic development strategy that we're pursuing and what Mallinckrodt is pursuing is about people, about individuals. And when we think about the future, of course, we want to be thinking about how do we make sure we're the most welcoming community for people from all over the world and from every one of our neighborhoods. You know, in the past, we would think of in terms of real estate or economic development, the 3 top priorities would be location, location, location. And today we know, and every CEO and every owner of a company that we talk to, every investor that we talk to repeats the same thing. It's about people, people, and people. We're in a global knowledge economy, and throwing our doors open to make sure that we're the most inclusive and welcoming those dreamers, those entrepreneurs, those innovators and pioneers here to this gateway city is as important to our future as it has been to our past. And Suzanne, you're coming from a community, Atlanta, that has earned a tremendous reputation as being an inclusive place. Why is this so important from your perspective, inclusion?
Well, the way I sort of summarize it, I think about we are competing in a global economy. And I think as a region, we should invite that diversity and people from all over the world to participate in our economy. And I think that those new people and those new talent bring a certain vitality and a certain interest. But I also think it's very important to embrace our culture and embrace our history and embrace the people that are here. And together we can grow jobs and create great opportunity for our region. And we have a goal, working with our partners, to make our region the most welcoming place in the nation for our citizens. And it's welcome and embrace.
That's great. Thank you, Suzanne. Tonight, the Chamber is now partnered with the St. Louis Mosaic Project, which a lot of you are very familiar with, to staff and fully develop the Professional Connectors Program. This is a program which connects or introduces skilled immigrants to well-known connectors throughout the community for career networking, referrals, etc. The initiative is really based on an award-winning program in Halifax, and it will work with local universities, companies, and organizations and agencies to help recruit immigrants with the goal of helping them launch their careers in St. Louis.